Hey, welcome to the No One Warned You podcast, the podcast where we have no fluff conversations about the things you should know, whether you're starting a business or you want to grow your business. And today, here with me, I have Tom Williams. He's the founder and CEO of Supercase. And if you missed the other episodes in the series, you should go back. We have two ones that we have recorded previously. And Tom, thanks for being here. Great to have you here.
Yeah, always fun.
We've had some good insights coming from you already. And in this episode, what we're going to talk about is, hey, just use AI, and that's actually the issue that's killing your sales. And Tom, uh, what is it that you've noticed as you're in the market and when you're offering something, and then what's
Yeah, there's always been a build versus buy option. Like ever since somebody offered to build you to buy a stone tool, someone's like, I'm just going to make my own. I'm going to make my own hammer, thanks. So it's always been an issue, but with AI, it's so much easier to, especially put little SaaS tools together for a specific purpose. And it's so tempting because with I use Claude myself, but so with Claude or ChatGPT, you can make a very convincing first article 80% of the way there thing in a weekend,
hmm
and the UI looks great. It looks exactly like a real app, and so there's that kind of excitement and energy in making it yourself and doing it in house, plus the kind of the belief that if you do it in house, you can save money from buying from a vendor and you can really dial it in for your exact thing. Plus the leadership team, like the C suite, is probably telling you, "Hey man, I just bought you a whole bunch of AI licenses. Why aren't you using them?" And so those three things really are crowding out the value prop that a seller can bring into the discussion, because whatever they are pushing to their customer for the fix, they're going to say, well, I'll just do that with AI. So you have two big things to keep in mind, and one is garbage in, garbage out. So AI will not magically understand how to fix your problem. It will do whatever you tell it to do and make a lot of very big guesses along the way.
hmm
So in terms of the actual um, knowing what problem to fix, that requires expertise in understanding the root cause of the problem. So you can kind of bat the AI out of there by saying, actually, it's really hard to know what to build, and AI can't help you with that. So that's one argument you can take with why not AI. But the other argument is that in building software and a solution, let's say, the actual code is really isn't all of it. The real effort and change and risk of change management is on that last 20% of the build, actually getting it to actually work and doing stuff like authentication and security and backing up the database and all that stuff. The infrastructure, boring stuff, is not easy for the last 20%.
hmm
And then even once you've got the software and here it is, it works and everything, getting people to use it, implementing it, adopting it is difficult and not something that is just for free. And then the irony is, if you actually do a good job and you have successfully solved this problem inside your organization with some little piece of homemade software, then you've got to figure out, well, who is going to, if it's popular, someone's going to ask for an update, and they're going to say, can you make it blue? Can you make the logo bigger? I really want it to work in the accounting department as well as the invoicing department. And what started off as a weekend fun project, now, like, think of all the energy and effort that the vendor has. They have engineers, they have support team, they have a DevOps team, they have a legal team, they have implementation, all these different people who are just focused on making the software work. And so the AI can't do an awful lot of that part of it. So when you're discussing build versus buy, especially with the AI, bring up who's going to do the rollout, who's written the help manual, who is on tech support, who's going to check in that people are using it correctly or often, who's doing the dependencies security run, and who's going to be putting in those next 10 features that the customers are asking for. It's a lot of work. And I think if you baseline it against, look how much effort or humans are sitting in the vendor to do all those different functions, present like who's the equivalent for each of those functions, who is going to triage all the feature requests and prioritize what gets done, and then who knows what to do when there's a conflict, both in who wants the product to do what and in the actual software. So it's not the software, it's not the coding, it's not that's the easy bit. Well, certainly the first 80% is the easy bit, and that last 20% is a nightmare.
And and as because now we feel like we're experts on it, on coding or app development or
Yeah,
technology
sure.
development, right? Because the access we have to coding actually, but we actually don't know all the infrastructure that's behind it, and like you said, it's the 20%, but
It's the maintenance that is the hard part, both of the software itself and of the product, the features that it does and how it accomplishes it, um, and rolling it out and making sure that it's really fixing the problem. There's a very good chance you're going to burn 6 months and be back where you actually needed to be.
Tom, if someone who's watching here, if they're hearing something from one of their leads, potential clients, saying, "Hey, we're going to try to develop it ourselves," what is it that you would say how is it that they should respond to that?
Well, that's when you should do a proper build versus buy analysis and say, I will do this with you because you can do it. And you absolutely can do this. It's 6 months and $6 million, but you can absolutely do it. And ask those questions. So how many hours a week are you going to allocate to technical support? And how many hours a week are you going to allocate to security updates and patch management? And how many hours are you going to update? How many hours are you going to allocate to feature research? Because one of the really interesting things is you build this product and you're done, right? But meanwhile, in the vendor world, they're continuing to innovate on the product and do better, more, faster, all the things because they have a team who's continually to innovate. So you can ask the DIYer, how are you going to maintain your finger on the pulse so that your competitors who didn't spend 200 hours trying to do this in house and instead paid $1,000 to have a vendor do it, are you worried about that gap increasing? And if you're not worried about it, then what are you doing to make sure that your in-house solution does it? And I would also, you can you can kind of placate them by saying we should absolutely use your LLM for example, at Supercase, we have a little thing that will talk to your LLM to go grab all the insights about your company.
Hmm.
Like, totally, you should absolutely use your LLM. Here's a good use for your in-house AI. It's to gather all this information from my AI, or it's to do something else. So, give the junior guy a job. Don't see her useless. You do need to find a job for your boss's nephew, and find the job for them so that now everything's working in harmony and they don't feel like they just wasted all their money on their Claude Enterprise. See,
That's so good. And so what would you say, Tom, that's actually worth paying for a human to do rather than asking AI to do?
anything where more than 5 people are using it, it's a good idea to have a vendor do it because at 5, 10 people, it starts like needs start to spread, capabilities and self-serve ingenuity tends to spread. So if this need is being managed by or is being served to multiple people, I would seriously think about getting a vendor who can think about more than just the one use case. If it really is just for you in your job, and you don't mind um, going to a spreadsheet every now and then, or or what the other kind of rinky-dink things, the little hacks that you can do to get there faster, totally appropriate. And then what I would say is, um, I'm a big fan of trying something by yourself. So in-house, use the AI, and then you can kind of you can understand the problem that you're trying to solve better, so that if you do go out to a vendor, you can detect bullshit a lot faster, because you can say, well, here's what I found. The problem I found when I was doing this was uh, prospecting is a great example. It's a real difficulty to scrape LinkedIn. It's hard to scrape
Yeah.
LinkedIn. So when a vendor comes and says, "Yeah, we'll scrape LinkedIn," you're like, "Will you really?" Because I think it's impossible. And then it turns out that what they do is they grab your session cookie, they throw it onto their remote server, just hammer the hell out of it, and all of a sudden you're banned. So you know that because you did your own little part of
Hmm.
understanding the problem space and how would I fix it myself. So now you can poke holes in the vendor's claims with a little bit of experience, and I think they're going to respect you a lot more if you're like, well, actually, I did try that, and it didn't work for X, Y, Z. Then maybe they can say, well, here's how we got around that, and you're having a much more um, peer-to-peer discussion with the vendor, and you can draw more of their expertise out of them because you already answered the dumb questions for yourself.
Because even if you're already convinced that you're gonna hire a vendor for something, then it's good for experimenting and just exploring. Try to do it yourself, or get some knowledge
Oh
about it.
yeah, because you might be like, huh, this vendor is just shunting my request over to Claude. Well, shit, I can do that. And so you'll understand a little bit better, like, what are you doing differently? So now you have a baseline of, yep, I can just have Claude do it, and now you have a baseline for what do you guys do better than me. And I kind of like the value baseline is not against a competitor. So you're charging me $100,000 for this. It would take me $50,000 worth of effort to do this. So maybe charge me $60,000. Otherwise, I really will just do it by myself, and it will take me $60,000, $50,000. But I'm kind of aware of what it will take.
That's pretty good. That's it's a good way to put it, and just how to measure, or even counter propose, counter offer, right?
Well, it's a value. You're coming down to the value, like, because the value isn't of being able to scrape LinkedIn, because that's the top line value. The value that a vendor offers is what it would cost you, the total value minus what it would cost you to do it yourself.
Hmm.
And that's the margin of, shall I have a vendor do it? Otherwise, I'll just do it.
Yeah. So good. Tom, we're gonna switch gears here, and it's my final question for you in this episode. And out of your business experience, if someone that's just going to start in business came to you and said, Tom, what is it, the one thing I gotta know, I'm going to start my business, what would you tell me it is?
It's kind of funny, actually. You've got to have a supportive partner at home,
Oh,
and
that's so good.
you need to have clear expectations as to who's making dinner, and talk about that stuff, because it's going to take more time than you think to make a business be successful. And if you don't talk about it up front, then you're going to fail. So love your partner, support your partner in whatever he or she is doing. Ask for the reciprocal, and then I'd also say have a clear "it didn't work" gate. So this isn't working. I'm burning myself out. I'm not seeing the success I wanted to, and have a couple of clear criteria at milestones in the future. So, like, a year from now, I want to be here. Write it down. And if you're not even close to that a year from now, then you and your partner can have an honest discussion as to what are you going to do.
Tom, that's such a great comment, and bringing the relationship side of things, which can be definitely just left behind. And
Yeah, yeah. Don't say I'm doing it for the family because that is a lie. You're starting this business for your own ego. I promise you, you're not doing it for the money. You're not doing it. You're just doing it so that you don't have to work for a boss and for your ego, so people think you're awesome. I might be projecting. I could possibly be projecting here, but you're not. You're not doing it for the money, and you're not doing it for the family. And so don't say you are.
you might be projecting, but there's definitely a general truth
Yeah,
in it. And
yeah, yeah.
hey, Tom, if people who are watching here, they want to connect with you and get to know more about what you do and how you can help them, how can they do that?
LinkedIn is the best way. You scrape LinkedIn and you can find my email address. LinkedIn is the best way, or you can go to supercase.ai and find me there. But I obviously I genuinely enjoy talking about this stuff. So if anybody does have any problems, first one's always free. Always happy just to jibber jaw and see if we can get you on the right track real quick.
Tom, can't thank you enough about your time and sharing your experience with us here today. It's been a pleasure to be here with you, really.
It's been a real pleasure, Henri. Thank you so much, and great podcast. Looking forward to more of the same at a later date.
Great. And well, thank you all for watching our podcast. Again, an honor to have you guys here. And we'll be launching some new episodes pretty soon. If you haven't watched the other two ones we had Tom here, go back and watch them. And see you soon. Bye bye.
Ciao. Bye, everybody.